Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for the weekly session. Now we are going to proceed to the fifth session. Here is the topic. Here is the topic. Ask for God's company or his pocket spending. So, in the previous session, we were discussing about, how Duryodhana was doing his own crooked plans for success in the battle. And on the other hand, on the other side, the Pandavas were aligned with the will of the Lord. So, align with the Lord or arrange for one's own crooked plans. That was the topic previously. So, today we proceed one step further. See this picture. This we have already finished. The first phrase is me to we. So, Duryodhana was me-centered, I, me, mine. Whereas the Pandavas thought in terms of we. They actually thought we are all brothers, belonging to the same dynasty, same family. Because Pandava's father, Pandu, was a younger brother of Duryodhana's father, Dhritarashtra. So Pandavas actually said, we are all cousins. Why can't we live happily? God has given us the earth. We divide and enjoy. And live happily by sharing it, rather than, fight such a vigorous battle and killing one another. See, here comes a very important point, dear devotees. In this world, if we think that we can divide the world and enjoy without reference to God, that is not possible. Srila Prabhupada says that how can you have universal brotherhood without universal fatherhood? Imagine, for example, if two brothers come together and say, let us shoot the father, let him be out of the scene, and we will divide the father's property and enjoy. If they do that, eventually they will end up shooting one another. Because without respect for the father, they can't have respect for one another. Similarly, you can see that actually Pandavas were guided by the Lord, by Lord Krishna. And therefore they were ready not even to fight the battle. They thought, we'll again go back to forest, we'll give it all to Duryodhana what to do. He's not agreeing. But Lord Krishna said, you are on the side of Dharma. And Duryodhana and company and all the other kings are all opposed to the universal welfare. So you have to fight the battle. On the order of Krishna, they fought the battle later. So they always thought in terms of we, not in terms of I. They never thought only Pandavas. They didn't think like that. But as you heard in the first shloka, Mamaka Pandava. Dhritarashtra is asking, my sons headed by Duryodhana and Pandu's sons headed by Yudhishthir. So that kind of partiality Dhritarashtra showed in the very first verse of the Gita. That is So talking in terms of me instead of we. Then the second part of the picture you see here, God's way, not our crooked plans. You see what Duryodhana, this is Duryodhana. What is he thinking? My army, my skills, my diplomacy. I'll finish the Pandavas and become the king of the whole world. And I will rule the world with an unrivaled kingdom. Like that he's thinking. You can see Duryodhana's mentality. He is actually depending on his own army, his own skills, his own diplomacy, and he is thinking that even though Lord Krishna is on the side of the Pandavas, he never counted him, thinking that he is not going to lift any weapons. And he didn't know that Lord Krishna is the father of all religious principles, father of Dharma, and is a supreme divinity. And in fact, I showed you in the previous sessions how Lord Krishna, externally he showed the huge universal form, and inside his mouth, as a small child, he showed the whole universe within his belly. So these are all there as references in the sacred texts. But Duryodhana became blinded by desire for wealth and land. So he was thinking in this manner, my skills, my diplomacy, my army and all that. Now see this picture. On the left side I have shown Yudhishthir Maharaj. So here I am showing difference between Pandavas and Kauravas. Left side you see Pandavas. What was the thought process? Everything belongs to Lord. Duryodhana is my brother. Whether I get to be a king or I have to live in forest, whatever the Lord wills, I am ready to do. Or in case I get the kingdom, I will share the kingdom with Duryodhana. Let Pandavas and Kauravas, we all will share the kingdom of the world and rule. Why to fight like dogs for a piece of meat? This was the question Yudhishthira is asking. You see? You see this mode, what an amazing mode it is. So, which means cooperation with all living entities and alignment with the Lord. That is Pandavas. On the right side, you see Duryodhana, same thing I showed you, my army, my skills. So, you can see the mentality difference. This is what I showed you in the previous couple of sessions to you. So, all of you undergoing this course on Be a Perfect Yogi, right in this first chapter, you are learning this very important lesson that we should see this world not as a place of competition, but we should see it as a place of abundance, not see it as a place of scarcity, but see it as a place of abundance. Like you see, the life is not just cutthroat competition. Life is actually to complement one another with our own talents and skill sets, and offer all our talents in service to God. Now, some of you may have a question. Do you say that? Do you mean to say there is no competition in this world? We are living in the modern day times when life is so competitive. Yes, but we have to be honest even in the competition also. Like Ben Johnson, long before, he took steroids and tried to run a sprint 100-meter race, and very soon he was exposed and he had to cut a sorry figure. We can't take a shortcut just because we want to be successful. So one has to align with the laws of nature and laws of God. And even while competing, we will see that there are people better than us, there are people inferior to us, and we play our part. And while playing our part in this world, we don't become aggressive or passive. We have to be assertive. Assertive means you take what is your right and you give what is others' right, which means live and let live. Actually, in this world, one great leader of India called Gandhi, M.K. Gandhi, he said, there is enough in this world for everyone's need, but not for one man's greed. And that one man is Duryodhana. Why? Because he wants the entire world kingdom for himself, although he doesn't own it in the first place. It is not owned by him or his father. It's owned by his uncle and uncle's son's Pandavas. Without even owning it, he wants to possess it. And this is example of greed. So he could have happily shared half the kingdom with Pandavas, half the kingdom for himself. But he didn't do that. So that one man's greed destroyed his whole family of 100 brothers in the battle. You will see that. So he adopted his crooked plans. He didn't align with God. He didn't cooperate with other living beings. So this is a great lesson that we can learn in our lives. And here you see, I have given a practical application of this. Here is a boss who is a very empowering boss. I am a servant leader to empower my team members to become leaders. It is said a good leader is one who makes many leaders. He, in fact, a good leader is one who makes his members of the team perform and he claps hands. Whereas a not so good leader is one who performs himself and he wants his team members to clap hands for him. So you see the difference between the two. So many of the kingmakers, you will see like Chanakya in India, for example. Chanakya made a very great king called Chandragupta Maurya, whose age is called as the golden age of the Guptas. So he made such a very powerful king because he was a kingmaker. So there were great Brahmanas in the Vedic times. Brahmanas means teachers of the Vedic knowledge. They were so wise and so intelligent. They could dethrone a king or they could post a king. Although they lived very simple lives. They lived a life of austerity. They lived a life of self-control. They lived in cottages, simple hermitages, like huts. They ate very simple food. They never accepted salary. Whatever was coming in charity, they accepted. But they were kingmakers, you see. So here he is saying, here, I am an instrument of God to serve those in my care. I am not the ultimate controller. This is the right attitude. Actually, we are all controllers to some degree, but we are not the ultimate controller. Try to picturize in your mind a cow tied to a pole. So the cow can, within that radius, cow can graze. That means she has limited control. Similarly, if he is a team leader, he has some control. But we all have to know that the ultimate controller is God. And God has a plan for each and every one of us. And you will see in this world, even if you are a free citizen of America, that doesn't mean that you can do whatever you want. If a free American takes a gun and shoots some other students, then immediately he'll be arrested. So even a free citizen follows the laws of this country. Like in America, when you're driving your car, you have to keep it on the right side. In India, we keep the car on the left side. Even a free civilian or a citizen has to follow the laws. And because he is following the laws, he can live happily. And those who don't follow the laws, they will be arrested and they'll be put behind the bars. You will see that is called as criminal law. He will have a criminal law. This person has civil law and he has criminal law. We follow the laws of God, that is civil law. And if don't follow the laws of God, we have criminal law. So then we are put in the jail of this material world where we are living in. So there is a spiritual world, there is a material world. In spiritual world, there is civil law. In material world, there is criminal law. Because those who rebel against God's plan for us, then we come here and we suffer in this world. But we can reform. We can purify our heart and go back to the original place from where we have come. And there is more freedom. Just like a bird in a cage is suffering. But when the bird is set free, he can wander in the free sky. So that world is like that. Spiritual world means like a bird who is flying in the free sky. Material world means we are like a bird put in the cage of this bodily mortal coil. So that's because of this controllership mentality. So in this picture you see this is a good boss. He has a good dealing with his subordinate, but not all bosses are like this. Many bosses feel threatened that my subordinate will become equal to me or get better than me and things like that. And they don't see themselves as instrument of God. They think I am only God. They imagine like that. Duryodhana imagine like that. So here I have quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam, one masterpiece treatise of Srila Prabhupada. When he came to the West in 1965, he wrote this commentary and he brought it there. At that time, he had written this paragraph, which I have taken from there. He says, if you read below, one of you can read it, please, for me? Anybody from online?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I'll read. Giving up God-fearing, pure-hearted, simple life and resorting to political diplomacy. While preparing this commentation on this particular stance of Srimad Bhagavatam, we have crisis before us. Our neighboring friend China has attacked the border of India with militaristic spirit. The reason is they lived those days in an atmosphere of God consciousness, and every country over the surface of the world was God-fearing, pure-hearted, and simple. And there was no question of political diplomacy. Srimad Bhagavad.
Yeah. See, three words he is using here. God-fearing, pure-hearted, simple. So now what is the opposite of these three words? Godless, and impure-hearted, and duplicitous, or diplomatic. Those are the opposite words. So, when people take God out of their life and want to lead a godless life, then they suffer themselves and they make others suffer. For example, if you take a compass and draw a circle, and you extend the radius and draw another circle with the same center, you can draw hundreds of circles with the common center. They'll never clash. But when you draw them with different centers, they are going to clash. So similarly, if God is the center, the society can be a happy society. But when God is removed, everybody thinks, Duryodhana thinks, I am the center. Another fellow thinks, I am the center. So they are called demoniac. So then all the demoniac people, it's like putting a pack of dogs in a room and they all are barking and biting at one another. It's like that. So the whole world becomes very horrible place for anyone to live. And right now there is a Ukraine war going on. You can see that. Of course, it hasn't spread it all over the world, but you can imagine World War I, World War II, how horrible it must have been. People cannot get out of their housing colonies to purchase things. They can be shot dead. And if they don't go out, they won't have food. And if they go out, they can be shot. So it's because of the fastidious false ego of some of the leaders. Leaders have ego problems and they make the whole society fight because of that. You can see that. So that's because they are godless and they are not pure-hearted. So what is the meaning of impure heart? Means greedy heart. Do you all agree that Duryodhana was extremely greedy? See, the other party told him, we only want 5 villages. Keep the rest of the world with you. But Duryodhana said, why 5 villages? I won't give you even a land on the tip of a needle. He said, I want to see you guys wiped out so that I'll be having monopoly over the whole world. That was his mentality. That's an example of an impure heart. In our lives also, we should never think that one person is my enemy, let me wipe him out. One should not think like that. Because if we have that mentality, our mind will be consumed in a revengeful attitude. And that revengeful attitude hurts us more than anyone else. I remember in my school days, our madam told all of us that all of you make a list of the people you hate the most and that many number of tomatoes you bring tomorrow. So some boys wrote 5, some boys wrote 10 names, some wrote even 20. And next day they all brought in a carry bag in their school backpack. They brought the tomatoes and said, Madam, here are the tomatoes, can we give you? She said, not yet, keep it with you. So they kept with them. So 1 day passed, 2 days passed. She said, every day you should bring and take it with you. Whenever I tell you, you should give me. So almost 1 week passed. The tomato started rotting and nasty smelling. And all of us were screaming, Madam, please take it away from us. She said, not yet, wait a minute. She said, no, it's nasty smelling. And those who had the maximum tomatoes had to tolerate the maximum smell. And then one day she smiled and said, all of you children, as much as your tomatoes are stinking, your heart is also stinking in hatred, she said. And that was like a bomb. You were shocked, really? If you hate other creatures who are children of God, then your heart is also stinking. So we decided that we will give up hatred for everybody. Because the soul is always pure. We will read about the soul in the next chapter. Spirit, we call it in English sometimes. Spirit soul. That's a real identity of each of us. Every one of us, we all are like a driver of the car. We are not the car. Body is the car. We are like the driver of the car. So the driver of this body is pure, but is covered by mind, which has the impurity. Soul is never impure. Soul is always pure. And the impure mind can also be washed and cleansed also. Just like you have a dirty shirt, you can put soap and you can cleanse it. Similarly, mind is also cleanable. If mind can also be cleansed and soul is already pure, why hate anybody? Everybody is purifiable. Everybody can be brought back to the original state. With that consciousness, we can love all creatures of God, with God in the center. So that's how we can have a pure heart. And simple means opposite of simple is complicated. One is complicated. What is the difference between a simple person and complicated person? For example, here Prabhupada is quoting example of China. India and China are neighbors. Between India and China, there is a desolate land which is always moist, wet, and it is not cultivable also. It's a rocky place. You can't do anything. Now, why should China and India fight for nothing? Fight for the place. Does it make any sense? Why should you fight for a piece of land? Because it's a borderland. There is a gap between India and China, and that land is there. Let it be there. Why should they fight for that? This reminds me in one day when I was returning to India, in our bus station, I saw on the street there were two dogs. They took one Bisleri bottle, water bottle, which was empty. Somebody had drunk the water and they had beaten it up and thrown it. The two dogs picked up the Bisleri bottle. One was catching the mouth side and another one was catching the other side. And they were like pulling, trying to take that bottle away from the other dog. And this dog would pull it right from this dog. So they both were like pulling back and forth. 1 hour they were fighting. And I was surprised. What are they fighting for? It's an empty bottle. They were only, anybody can say why they were fighting? For an empty bottle, that too beaten up bottle. Any of you? Yeah? It's very surprising for you, is it? Give a try. It's a man.
I guess they were trying to prove their supremacy over one another.
Yeah, they were trying to misuse one another. That's true. I saw in the chat one Mohan, I think. Mohan has written that due to false ego. Yeah, it is due to ego only. They want to show that I am better than you. Other dog wants to show that I am better than you. Let us see who is more mighty. Whether I can pull more or you can pull more. Here there's another answer. You got a satisfaction that I won over the other. Correct. That's true, yeah. That's true. Simply to prove. Yeah. Maybe they were playing tug of war. Of course, it didn't appear like a play when I saw that they were angry at one another. Of course, if they're playing tug of war, that's very nice. If just like brother and brother may play, that's very good. Just for fun. But they were in a fighting mood, they were in a hurting mood. So, that's the meaning of complicated, not simple. Trying to dominate the other, or control the other. So, China and India had no reason to fight, but they were fighting because they were not God-fearing, and they were not pure-hearted, and they were not simple. Prabhupada wrote this in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, here you see this picture. Here, these two girls, if you see, one girl, she has taken away all the toys and she's telling the other girl, get lost. That's what Duryodhana also did while dealing with the Pandavas. It's greed, immense greed. Below, I have shown the picture of Alexander. So, you can see that he was not satisfied in his own land. He went across the globe, subduing the people and gathering more and more land, so much land, so that he could not even handle. He could not handle what he had gathered. I'll show you a little video you'll appreciate. Hey, why it's not? It's hanging? Just a minute. So, the video which I am going to show you, it's just a couple of minutes video, but it conveys a lot. In a short time, it can convey a great lesson for us in the same connection of which I said just now about the greed. So, when we are talking about the nature of Duryodhana, inside all of us, there are two natures. One is the angel-like nature, animal-like nature. So, when we talk about animal-like nature, we act instinctively. When we talk about angel-like nature, we think twice before we speak, or we think twice before we act. Animal nature means whatever gives me pleasure, I will go for it. I don't care about others around me. So Duryodhana thought, oh, it feels nice for me to be the king of the world. I want to be. And for that, I had to wipe out the Pandavas. That is his mentality. He doesn't think about, do I really own it? I am grabbing someone else's property and claiming it to be mine. And in fact, I am trying to even wipe them out. Just see how much they are tolerating me. He didn't think like that. I heard a funny story. One man purchased a cookie packet, which he kept it in his bag. And he sat in the airport, and while browsing through his mobile, he just put his hand in the packet and he started tearing that packet and eating the cookie one by one. But to his surprise, he saw the neighbor was eating one cookie from his packet. Then he would take one, he would take one, he would take one, he would take one, went on, and the cookie packet got over. So this fellow thought, how dare he is taking and eating without even having the courtesy to even request me or ask me. And so he threw an angry glance on him, and then he got up and walked away. Then he went to the flight. Then he opened his bag for picking up a book, and there he found his cookie packet intact. And he hadn't opened it at all. Now he realized that the cookies I ate was not mine. It was someone else's. And that fellow was courteous enough to let me eat without becoming angry on me, and I became angry on him. What a shame, he thought. Duryodhana's situation is similar. Duryodhana, he is taking Pandava's property and he is becoming envious of them and angry on them. So now I said I'll show you one, this thing, I'll show you. You can see this one. You see this. So, do you think really the monkey was able to eat? Yeah? See, he was accumulating a lot, but he could not eat. And all the while he was looking behind. Yeah, what is that? You so worried that, okay. Yeah, many have agreed that it is greed. That's true. So nowadays, modern man also, he accumulates a lot of money, but he has no time for enjoying the money because he's working 16 hours a day, many times. I know a man who worked so many hours, like 16 hours, 18 hours a day. He had no time for his family. When he went home, his wife was already divorced. And doctor told him that he is very close to a heart attack. So he couldn't get time for his health. He couldn't get time for his family. But his bank balance was increasing. That is his only satisfaction. So therefore, you will see Duryodhana was exactly like this. He wanted to accumulate the kingdom, the whole world, the kingdom he wanted. But he, in the course of doing that, he got destroyed. You can see that. Here you see this picture, enjoy mentality. Everyone and everything here is to serve me, please me, work for me and my enjoyment. Shape up or ship out. This is his mentality. This type of mindset is no good. Actually, everyone and everything in this world is meant for God's service. God is the center of the whole universe. Every morning you get up, you see the sun shines, the cloud showers, the flowers blossom, the fruits ripen, crops grow, the grains fructify, the seasons change. Is any of these things done by us? Think for a moment. So, therefore, everyone and everything is revolving around God's control, God's order. And the one supreme who has created this world is also maintaining it. Therefore, the living beings, like all of us, we should not have the ego that as if we are running the whole world. We are a small part of God. We are a part and parcel of God. And God made oceans, we are making a swimming pool. God made moonlight, we make dome light. So we have a little ability to do something. But people like Duryodhana are egomaniacs. And therefore, they think in terms of I, me, mine always. Here I am going to tell you a very important story. Uh, when the war was about to happen, uh, uh, when the Kurukshetra war was about to begin, something happened which I am going to share with you now. You see, both Duryodhana and the Pandavas are related to Lord Krishna. So they both went to Krishna's abode called Dwaraka in India. So when Arjuna was going to the palace of Krishna, at that time he saw Duryodhana entering the palace. And then he also greeted him, and then they both went in. At that time, Lord Krishna was sleeping, as you see in the picture here. You see here, Lord Krishna was lying in the bed, he was sleeping. One of the queens was fanning him. And Arjuna went and stood at the lotus feet of Krishna. And as you see him, standing pose. And Duryodhana sat near the head of Krishna, as you see here in the picture. And they both were waiting for Krishna to get up. So when Lord Krishna got up, as soon as he got up, he saw Arjuna. Because when you get up from the sleep like this, straight you see the person on the opposite side. He saw Arjuna and he smiled at him. And then he turned to the side and then he got to see Duryodhana also. And Krishna told both of them, I know very well, you both are my relatives. And actually, Pandava's mother is Kunti, and Kunti's brother is Vasudev, and Vasudev's son is Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna in this world appears as Vasudev's son. That means Krishna's father is Pandava, is the brother of Pandava's mother. So that way there's a relationship, correct, no? So same with Dhritarashtra also. So therefore he said, both of you are my relatives, and I know that there is going to be war now, and you both have come to seek my help. And then he said, okay, I am ready to offer support to both of you. He said, I have 10,000 Yadu soldiers with me, and one of you can take that, and the other one can take me. I can come, but I won't lift any weapon, he said, because I don't want to fight against any of you, because both are equal to me. Like that he said. So now ask yourself, any of you friends, if you are given this option, will you take 10,000 soldiers who will carry weapons to fight the battle? Or will you take Krishna who will not lift any weapons? Which one will you take? Any of you would like to say? Yes? So many have said Krishna, okay. Balaji, Dheeraj. Okay. Okay. Harihara. Okay. Okay. So many have said Krishna. So any of you can give reason for your choice? Any of you can give reason for your choice?
I would say the reason I would choose Krishna,
Yeah.
Lord Krishna, is because even if you have no weapons, if you have God with you, it can guide you through all obstacles.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So, Ogan, you are very attentive. Very good, very smart. Last time you told me that you have got a copy of Gita and you have been studying it regularly. So you gave a very smart reply. Yeah, God is all powerful. If you have God with you, it's like having one. And having anything else other than God is like having a string of zeros. Huh? Of course, the zeros carry value when you put a one in the front. Isn't it? That was a good point. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Is Jacob around? Is Jacob there? Okay, Joe. Many of you gave the correct answer. You almost 10 of you gave the answer Krishna. So besides what Ogun said, would anyone like to add anything to that? Yeah? Anybody wishes to add? Okay. See, here is a point. When Krishna told that, immediately Arjuna wanted to choose. Arjuna wanted to choose. Duryodhana wanted to choose. Krishna told, wait a minute. Arjuna is younger in age to you, and you are elder in age, so Arjuna should be given the first choice. And not only that, Duryodhana said, Krishna, I came first into the palace, and after me, Arjuna came. So I should be given the first choice, he said. But Lord Krishna said, wait a minute. Although you came first into my palace, you were sitting by my side. I only saw Arjuna first. And he is also younger in age to you. So he should be given the first choice. And then you can express your choice, like that he said. So Duryodhana was very, very, very worried. And he was waiting with bated breath. What is Arjuna going to choose? Because he had made up his mind, I want 10,000 warriors. So at that time, Arjuna, without any hesitation, just like we heard from Ogan now, he immediately said, Krishna, I want you, he said. And then Duryodhana had a big beaming smile on his face and he said, okay, Krishna, now that Arjuna has taken you, I will take the 10,000 warriors from you. Bye-bye. And he went away. After he went away, Krishna asked Arjuna, why did he choose me? I'm not going to lift any weapons. And Arjuna told the same answer. He said that, here he says here, there is no doubt that wherever you are, there will be victory. Arjuna said that. Arjuna told to Krishna, wherever you are, because you are the supreme. You are the master of the universe. You are the Lord of the universe. You are the Lord of all the creatures. You are the supreme controller, supreme maintainer, supreme proprietor, supreme predominator. And everyone and everything is moving by your will. Not even a blade of grass can move without you. So Arjuna was fully convinced of this truth. So he chose Krishna. And Krishna was also very dear to his heart. So here I have mentioned a point here. Can you please read this? It's a very important point. One of you? Yes, please. Yeah.
This devotional spirit of Arjuna towards Krishna is an essential ingredient for understanding Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
Durkheim was materially calculated, lacking understanding of Krishna's supremacy. Arjuna chose the Lord owing to his love for him, whereas Durkheim chose the Lord's energies owing to his desire to exploit them to fulfill his own selfish interests.
Yeah, thank you. So, these two people, Arjuna and Duryodhana, they chose two different things. Arjuna chose Krishna, Duryodhana chose Krishna's energies. So, just like, for example, say you have a friend. You can choose your friend or friend's pocket. Some people are interested in friend's pocket. Some people are interested in the genuine welfare of the friend. Imagine if a boy goes to his friend and flatters him and says, oh, you look very handsome, your dress is very cute looking today, you are the most smartest boy I have ever met, can you please give me $1,000, if he asks like that. So then the friend will think, oh, he was all the while praising me because he wants something from me. He's praising me is not honest. He's just a cheater. So next time, again this boy comes to flatter him like this, that fellow will ask, what do you want this time? Last time you asked for $1,000, now you're going to ask my car. So that is actually not a genuine friendship, because that fellow is not interested in his friend, he is interested in his pocket. Whereas a genuine friend is one who is interested in the welfare of his friend. That's the difference between the two. So, what is genuine affection and what is fake affection? Here I am going to give a couple of examples. Let us see, any of you can give your comments. Say, for example, sometimes people put a fake smile, like salesmen. Sometimes, they say, if you can't make it, fake it. You know that? They say like that. They say that, put up a smile, and they will even sell a refrigerator to Eskimo. Eskimos are living in the middle of icy place. They can even sell a refrigerator to them by their smile. So their smile doesn't carry much. Similarly, sometimes you go to a hotel to eat out. The waiter is having a beaming smile, and he appears very friendly because he knows that after finishing the meal, they'll give me a tip. So his smile is only for the tip and not for anything else. Like once I was invited to a star hotel and to give a program. So I was just entering the hotel. At the entrance, there were two receptionist girls. So as soon as they saw me entering, immediately they had a big smile and they welcomed me. And then when I went ahead in the room, they were actually in a counter, this kind of table. They both were inside the table. So when I was walking like this, I smiled because you have to welcome a visitor to the hotel. So as soon as I went in, I saw them, they both were frowning at one another and fighting. When I just turned around and saw. So the smile was only for the visitor. After that, they were frowning with one another. So we call it as a plastic smile and a cardboard face, we call it. So it is not genuine. It is just artificial. Similarly, Duryodhana's so-called friendship with Lord Krishna is only for self-serving purpose. So in this way, people connect with God to get something out of Him for their benefit, and not to love Him. That type of relationship is not a very great relationship. It's a selfish relationship, or they are called materialistic devotees. They may go to mosque or church or temple or cathedral, anywhere they may go. They go and meet God, they may bow down to Him, but their goal of going there is to make God an order supplier. Please give me this, give me that. Oh God, please pass me in the exam. After that, oh God, please give me a job. After getting a job, oh God, please give me a promotion. Oh God, you make me a manager. Oh God, you give me a foreign chance or whatever. So many people actually go to temple to make God an order supplier. So they are very similar to Duryodhana mentality, because Duryodhana came to meet Krishna only to take Krishna's pocket. Whereas Arjuna came to Krishna out of genuine affection for him. Does it make sense to all of you? Yes? Is it clear? Yeah. Now you see this picture. One of you can read the left side and another one can read the right side. Okay? Yeah. See what is, you go from in a clockwise fashion. What Arjuna is thinking, please read it. Krishna is my Lord and friend. Any of you?
My victor, my victory, okay. My victory is only in His company.
Yeah.
I want Krishna, not his energies. His friendship alone is enough for me. Krishna is my Lord and friend. He is Para, Brahma, and purest.
Yeah. So this is the consciousness which Arjuna had. With this consciousness, he agreed to align with Krishna's will. Yeah. And on the other side, what was Duryodhana thinking? Anybody else can read that, please?
Okay, I'll read.
Yeah, please. Avinash? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. 1,000 Narayani Sena warriors is a good count. Foolish Arjuna chose Krishna. What is the use of Krishna who will not fight? I am really smart to get that Sena. Now, considering my power, Pandavas are doomed.
So, when you compare these two, you can see on the left side there's a spiritual calculation, on the right side there's a material calculation. You agree? Huh? So, this is how the spiritualist and materialist calculate. Huh? You see? Mm. Spiritualist sees everything in terms of, will God be pleased with me if I do this? Am I aligning with God? I don't want to displease God because His eyes are watching me everywhere. So I have to be honest. I have to be faithful. That is a spiritualist. The materialist thinks that, oh, by hook or crook, I will win. I will pull others' legs and I will achieve my things my way. That kind of thought process is Duryodhana. So therefore, the spiritualist thought process means to focus on serving God, pleasing God, aligning with God, that type of mindset. Otherwise, the crooked mindset is, actually, here comes an important point. Duryodhana type of people may flourish for a while, but it is only sooner or later they will be exposed. I'll tell you an example. There were two, bakery shops. In one lane, one side there was A shop, this side there was B shop, two shops. And one shop was making monthly $10,000. The other shop was making monthly $50,000. Why? The same size shop, same amount of bread and biscuits they are selling. Why one is making 10,000, one is making 2,000? If you find out, in this shop, whenever there was a fungus coming up in the bread, this fellow will immediately throw it away in the garbage. He will not sell it because it is harmful for the people. They may get food poisoning. He will not do it. And the other shop would just take a brush and remove it and sell it because he wanted to make money. He was making $50,000 while he was making $10,000. Anybody will say that, hey, you're foolish. You are just losing out on money. Look at that fellow. Every month he's making 50,000. But what do you think happened? Within a few months, some of the people who ate that other shop's bread, they got food poisoning, and the name and reputation of the shop got lost. They brought the police to inspect and check what is being sold, and the shop had to be closed down. He lost all the profit, and he was arrested for selling food poisoning products like that. And all the people who were his customers went to the other shop. Now this fellow was earning $60,000 because earlier 10,000 plus 50,000 more now. So here is an example of how one is a man of character and truthfulness. In the long run, it will pay. So the Pandavas and Kauravas, you can see the difference. So, yeah. So here is, I have asked a question. Ask yourself, to whom will you be attracted? To someone who genuinely is affectionate to you and just wants to exchange their friendship with you, or to another person who comes to you to flatter you and to get some money from you. One is attracted to you, other one is attracted to your pocket. Yeah. So here I have shown an example. On the left side and right side, I am showing a character. See who are these characters? Some of you may be aware, there is a great epic. There are two great epics in India called Ramayana and Mahabharata. So this Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata, and the other one is Ramayana. In Ramayana, there are two characters. One is a personality called Hanuman, who was a great devotee of. Actually, Lord Rama is also none other than Krishna. He comes in at another occasion called as Rama. So Rama's great devotee, his name is Hanuman. And Rama's wife, her name is Sita. Now, there was a demon called Ravana who was always aiming at getting Rama's wife away from him by kidnapping him. He was a very great demon from a place called Ceylon in South India, Sri Lanka. So he was a 10-headed demon, and he had performed many penances and acquired many powers. So here the picture I have shown here, he is coming and kidnapping Sita in the picture, you can see. He was a lusty rogue. He is exploiting another man's wife here, you can see that. Whereas on the right side you find Hanuman, who is a great monkey devotee of Lord Rama. He is bowing down at Rama's feet. He has a service mentality. One is exploitative mentality, one has service mentality. You can see that. This is the difference between the two, the demoniac and the divine. The divine want to serve the Lord, while demoniac want to exploit the Lord's energies. You can see that. Yeah. So in the Gita, Lord Krishna says, Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hetuttamam. Arjuna, I'm speaking this Gita to you because you are my friend, you are my devotee, and you can understand it. And Srila Prabhupada says, if you become a student in line with Arjuna's mindset and mood, then you can also understand the Gita very easily, and then we can have a tangible change of heart. Otherwise, we won't be able to fathom this. So, now it's time for us. I will stop with this for today. One main theme we have learned today, that don't ask for God's pocket or God's penny. Make friendship with God, because if you have God, you have everything. Actually, for example, if you have a friend, if you have affection for your friend, the friend comes along with his pocket also. But if you aim at only his pocket, then he will see your mindset, and probably it will increase the distance. So therefore, you will find in this world people who are exploitative. They are more concerned about your energies and your possessions than relationship with you. That's one main point we have learned today. And any question? One quick question, any of you?
I have one question, Swamiji.
Yeah.
Krishna have the I think 5 Akshoni army. I'm right, not 10,000 people. I'm right.
Yeah, that is 10,000 Narayana Sena. Narayana Sena actually is Yadus, because Krishna is from the Yadav dynasty. That he was willing to give that support.
Okay. And I have another also.
Yeah.
Pandavas married one woman. That is the Adharma. Then how it will be a right as per the
your question.
God?
Your question is a good question. When Arjuna won the match, he got Draupadi as his wife. So he went and told Yudhishthira Maharaj that I have won the match, and now Draupadi is ready to marry me. And then Yudhishthira went to his mother Kunti and said, "Oh mother, Arjuna has brought a special gift," he said, "for you." And Kunti said, "Whatever gift he has brought, please, you all share and enjoy," she said. You share and accept. And Yudhishthira was shocked. He said, "Mother, I was not talking about a mango or an orange or something. I am telling he has brought Draupadi, a girl whom he won in one of the matches." Then he thought, let me ask a sage, Vedavyasa. So when he went to Vedavyas told, actually this Draupadi is not an ordinary woman. She is born of fire. She is born from the sacrificial fire for a specific purpose, and she will be a wedded wife of 5 of you. Generally, this kind of marriages are not done. But in her previous life, this Draupadi was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, and she was performing severe penances for Shiva. When Shiva was not appearing, she intensified her austerities. And as soon as Shiva appeared after a long time, at that time, 5 times she told, "I want a husband, I want a husband, I want a husband, I want a husband, I want a husband." Like that she told him. And each time she remembered one quality. So, therefore, the next birth, when she appeared as Draupadi, she acquired these 5 husbands who had those 5 qualities. And Vedavyas said, in general, this type of marriages are never done. There is one more case called Pracheta's case, where one girl was married to 10 of the princes. Prince married her. The same manner, these are extremely rare. It is sanctioned by Vedavyas and ordained by Lord Shiva, and therefore it is done. And her birth is also not like the birth of an ordinary girl. She is born from fire. And therefore, one can understand that these are exceptions, and the exceptions cannot be rules. Is it all right? Yeah. Thank you. Krishna. There was one more question. In the chat, I saw one more question. I can say? Yeah. Okay. I had here there is a question by Avinash. I had a small doubt that we should not possess qualities like Duryodhana, but that like the Pandavas. But we are always in delusion. In spite of knowing all this, how can we come over all these demoniac qualities like Duryodhana, even after constant endeavors, we feel we are falling. Please guide. Avinash's question is a very, very sincere question. Actually, Avinash, therefore I was telling you in the lecture that we have animal and angel within us at the moment. We have to drive out the animal and we have to nourish the angel. And that takes some time. Like we were singing in the beginning the Hare Krishna mantra, music we were singing, kirtan we were doing. The same manner we do japam also. So today we will chant 10 times. I wanted to introduce the japam to all of you today. So here is the japa beads. In this there are 108 beads in this. And in each bead we chant the same mantra. And when we chant this mantra, what is the meaning of this mantra? Oh Lord, all of you repeat, Oh Lord,
O Lord,
purify me,
purify me,
elevate me,
elevate me,
accept me.
accept me.
So this is the meaning. Oh Lord, purify me, elevate me, accept me. So that's the meaning of this mantra. So when we chant, that is the mood, like a child crying for the mother. In that mood we chant this mantra. And we pray to him, like Avinash rightly asked this question. Although we want to be like Arjuna, we have some impure mindset also. Oh Lord, please purify me of this Duryodhana mindset and elevate me to a higher self instead of the lower self. And accept me in your company so that when I come to spiritual world, I will be absolutely pure. Just like God is pure, the soul is also pure. And in that pure mindset, I will always eternally love you and serve you and be a part of the spiritual world. So that's the meaning of this mantra. And this mantra we will chant. We did kirtan in the beginning. Now we will chant japam. Japam actually means softly uttering it and attentively hearing it. Okay. Now we will all chant together. So generally, when you, in case you don't have a mala with you, you can also chant with your fingers like this. We begin with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you finish 10, then the left hand side you can fold one finger like that. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And one more finger you fold. In this way, 5 times if you do 10, 10 each, like Om we write, no? Like that 10 times you finish, then 50 will be over. Then when you do 10 more, you release 1. After 10, release 1. After 10, release 1. Like that it will become 100. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It becomes 108. So you can do anywhere. If you are sitting in a park, any time of the day, take a deep breath and then count with your own fingers, close your eyes and chant and hear it attentively. So let's chant with the finger today. And 10 times only we are going to chant. You all are ready now? And we will chant in a chorus together. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now you all got an idea, So how to chant 10 times. So try chanting in a similar manner. 10 times like this if you chant, it is 100. And then 8 more times. So this we call as Hare Krishna Japam. So if you are doing this japam, it is very purifying and cleansing the mind. Just like in a mirror, if you have dust, if you take a wet cloth and wipe the mirror, it removes the dust. Like that, this cleanses the mind. As the months and years pass, you will get clarity in the eyes to see the truth. You will also clearly be able to see what is impurity, what is purity, what I should not do, what I should do, what is harmful, what is beneficial. Very clearly you will understand it. So thank you all. We have crossed the time today, and we shall meet next week and we continue the sessions. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.